the rec center a little while ago until they, they built it just for us, knowing that this would be something that they're doing for cities all over the country, but they don't have any of those lined up and won't for months. And so they were gonna spend like $4,000 to haul it back to North Dakota. We said, well,
We'll store it for free.
we'll store it as long as we can have the key and the instructions. So, and
Okay,
we can haul it over here or whatever.
ready to start the meeting? Karen, would you please pull that mic down? Just pull the gooseneck down, there you go. I don't know who he's saying was sitting there. Kathy's not that tall.
Give us a scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so, in the absence of a chair or vice chair, I no longer as the administrative reporter and calling the meeting to order as of 3:01. And we have, I'll do a roll call. Will Favis, Favis.
Is
Here.
Short.
Callers,
Here,
Hendrika. Here. And King, who just joined us.
is the recording on? I didn't hear it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now first up is we're going to call for an election of a chair who will then do the vice chair and the rest of the meeting. So I need nominations for the election of a chair.
I move that Joyce King be elected chair of the Depoe Bay Emergency Preparedness Committee.
I second that, and she was an incredible chairperson of this committee as long as I've been on it, so I'm hoping that that's what.
Okay. Joyce King, do you accept that nomination?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hey,
Yay, thank you.
now,
Well done, Kim.
Andreka and King you can either do it from there or switch seats, your call.
Let's just do it from here.
Okay.
Okay,
And then you get to do the rest of it.
okay. So we need to, appoint or elect a vice chair. I recommend, since Karen has done it for a couple of years, I recommend that we choose, committee member, Deb.
Surprise.
Yeah, do. Oh, and, if I am gone from the meeting, the only thing you have to do is follow the agenda, and I will.
I understand.
Right.
So I want to be sure, Karen, this isn't something that you want to continue to do.
Correct.
Correct, that's true, I don't want to continue.
She didn't want to do it.
Okay, well, you're a pleasure to work with, Joyce, so
Thank
that
you.
would be,
Okay.
that'd be fine.
Well, thank you.
Okay, I
So-
accept the nomination.
I appreciate that.
Shit, I already have Karen written here in my notes. I can't even write my own name down.
So we have,
Look at the name.
we have nominated Deb for the, Wolf Fibus for the co-chair, and anyone
You need
in
a
favor?
second.
Anyone in favor?
You
I'll
need a
second.
second.
I'm sorry?
You need a second.
Okay, who would like to second that? Thanks, Karen. All in favor of Deb Wolf Fibus? Raise your hand. Okay. And if, congratulations, are you willing to accept this position?
Sure.
Okay, thank you, glad to hear it. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, the consent agenda, has everyone had a chance to read the minutes for November 18th and January 13th?
Pardon me, Chair, I just wanted you to know, I meant to print them. I hadn't reviewed the January 13 minutes.
Okay,
I did and made some minor corrections to a few typos and things like that, but nothing big. So I just wanted you to know that I caught some of those in case somebody else caught some.
okay. Anybody have any questions about the minutes?
Chair, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented with corrections as noted by Karen.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion carried, thank you very much. And we have no guest presentations. South Committee, announcements and comments. Karen, I think you have some, would you like to start?
Oh, did you want to? I came across, I'm not sure where I got this, probably one of Jenny's presentations, emergency preparedness calendar from 2016. And it's got some great information we could probably borrow.
we want.
I love stealing, go for it.
Would that be for the calendar?
If that's
Yeah,
whatever we wanna.
well, why don't we look at that since
Sure.
we're working on the web pages
Okay,
for the
perfect.
city, so that's good.
And the word is creatively adapt.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, I like that.
Okay,
I like that, Randy.
We're all corrected.
So on that, so the write-up that Randy did for his January is stellar.
Yes.
And so if we're needing stuff to pull from
Yes,
for this calendar,
Yes,
this
can
would
we
be
have that?
the wording on this, I have an extra one to put.
Yeah, I
That
bet
was that calendar.
Because Karen and I are meeting, I'm going over things we want for our web page.
Right,
And we're meeting on Friday, I think, again, so we can, Saturday, okay, all right.
I
so
just found that just to be, you know how whenever we're writing something and we stumble over, we're trying to put the right words together.
Mhm.
That page right there is really hard hitting, but at the same time, so well worded and easy to
So
follow.
Randy, do you have experience writing, in writing, so that was so well done?
Yeah.
Have you done that before?
Oh, yeah, for all kinds of stuff.
Well, this is a skill that we probably use.
Yeah, no, it's really well done.
That's
Thank
really
you.
good.
I appreciate that.
Sure. Okay, wonderful. Anything else, Karen? Hey, Randy?
I guess might just mention the Zoom call we had, those of us that were on it. Thought it was not what we expected it to be.
Which Zoom call you referring
This would be the Zoom call on the VR,
Tsunami.
the
Yeah.
Tsunami VR tool.
Mhm.
First half was not really at all what I wanted to hear. The second half was the beginning of what I would have liked to have heard.
Mhm.
But I also think that it's ultimately, hopefully, maybe a tool that the planners like us could use in a couple of years when they get it to that stage. But I don't see it as a practical tool beyond that for a long time. But certainly fascinating, and I did learn some things.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, it was very well done. The
Yeah.
little graphics that they had.
Right. And that, it never even occurred to me, one of the things that was an insight, I always try to gain something, was when I saw the simulation that included a very gradual rise of water versus a violent rise of water. And it makes sense now that I thought of it, but that has never been in my mindset that it would be that type of.
Yeah, and me either, you would think the opposite. I know that's what hurricanes typically have, they vicious rises like that.
And then the response I got in the questions that I posted about that was that it depends on where you are and how close you are to the breakwater, so.
And so then they have concurring, I think once a month until June, I believe.
Yeah,
Zoom.
and my understanding is the themes vary, so that kind of like our committee here, so they have particular, and I didn't see anything on the website that mentions what they're having for each of the next 5 months, but I do think it could be interesting. I think
Yeah, we'll see, you
there
know,
might be
it's
something to learn
just
from
an
that.
hour, so, you know, it's worth checking out.
And again, that ability to just connect with a network that's doing the same work we are, and certainly connected with researchers and all that stuff, I think is always valuable.
That's right. Anything else, Randy?
I don't think so.
Okay, Kathy.
I just wanted to thank everybody for helping with the event that the task force put on for everyone, over 150 people, I think we counted in attendance. Really well received, the information was stellar of how we could really conceivably become 2 weeks ready. The contacts that we made that day were fabulous,
Yeah.
including the CEO of the tribe was there, Curtis Parker, and he was so interested in pursuing and working with Lincoln County on alternative sources for fuel for the entire county. And they have the money to help us out, so I'm gonna keep in contact with them as well as the task force to make this happen, but it was a good event. I've got hot dogs and hamburgers in the freezer left over, so we've got that ready to go for our March 22nd event, and that was
Well, we need to talk about that.
Okay.
thank you. Anything else?
I was, really, it was awesome. It really worked out great. You guys are instrumental in getting the, garbage bucket,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Had lots of
center stage, and really,
Yeah.
that was really important too.
Okay, I did.
No, anything I wrote has to do with the next thing on this.
Okay, all right, so I have a boatload of stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so I sent, information to you in separate emails. It was a, evacuation route information. And this comes from Laura with Dagani. And I think it's a good idea. I haven't really looked at it that much, and I know a lot of people are talking about it. Is this something that we want to dive into? Maybe have one meeting to where this is all we talk about? We can kind of outline it and see.
Is that what she did?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's
No,
great.
no, this is something different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that, Kim, did we ask you to make copies of this? For
No, we
everybody?
asked for this. No, we got this.
We've got this one.
We asked for this, we didn't ask for
Yeah,
Okay, well then I may have the only copy, so I'll get other copies. Basically, what it's talking about is, Laura sent it to me saying that, when she was here, she mentioned that she had a program about evacuations. And, I think different entities with the state have the same type of thing with a different twist. I think we should look at it. I think that we should see what it's all
Absolutely.
about. So,
Get all the information we can.
absolutely. So let me dive into it and see what I think, and then we can, I'll get copies at the next meeting for you guys.
Okay, that'd be
And
great.
then maybe in
Pardon me.
April.
do you want me, Chair, do you want me to go ahead and send those to everybody, or just go ahead and print copies, people can come pick up ahead of time?
I think print copies, because I think if you just send it, then, you know, it's hard to print all the copies, but if the city could do it for us, that would be helpful.
Would that puzzle piece into this one?
Probably.
And we may end up with a hybrid.
Exactly. And so these are actually two different things. This is, a drill guidebook and evacuation route information. So,
cool.
yeah,
Okay.
And Joyce,
uh-huh.
maybe I misheard it, but my understanding during the presentation that Laura had is that her office has funding to help us do that, to help us actually create it.
I wouldn't be.
So we don't have to necessarily be the ones to create it as much as basically go to her. At least that was my understanding, that the 2 or 3 places that she did it for went to her and said, we want the evacuation.
You're talking about the second presenter that day.
Isn't that Laura?
Laura was
Felicia.
Oh, so no, I don't remember that. Remember the second presenter you're talking
Because
about?
that was part of her job.
So you're talking about Felicia then?
No, he's actually talking about Laura.
No, I thought Laura said
Okay,
that.
okay.
And that she said that her office is prepared to do that for other entities, to help do it, so that it's not, you know, we have to give her all the information, she puts it
Okay.
together to where she's got a system and a modeling program that she can then do that for specific areas. At least right now, she seemed to have funding,
Okay, wonderful.
so.
Okay.
Thank you, Randy. I
And I'm
appreciate
pretty sure it was Laura, but if not,
Okay.
then it would be.
Right. I
I'm sure it
thought
was
the
Laura.
second one was talking about, because she was talking about signage
it. Uh-huh.
and then how we would get that, and so as I say that, then was it Laura in your head then, or was it the other speaker?
Yeah, I think it was the other speaker.
Okay, and that's, I was just trying to say something
Different than the
that
actual,
reminded
like, putting up the
Well,
sign
Okay,
on.
good, okay,
Well, I
good.
need to check with them anyway.
Okay, cool, that's good.
So I can just ask them about that. And so then we've got this here.
Right.
We also, on March I'm getting ahead of my agenda, but, a lady from the, OEM, all these initials, Karen and I met with them. This is part of the Oregon evacuation plans, and they do a lot of other things, but they said that they do also have a plan. And she wants to meet with us in March, she wants to come
Okay.
and show us a video, so we'll have a lot of information to look at. Okay.
So if she's coming in March, our March meeting is the
March
10th,
10th,
so she's coming in that day. So where is she from? She's from OEM?
Yeah, she is, and then I've also seen, let me just talk about it when I get to that part of the
Okay,
agenda,
okay.
if you don't mind.
No worries.
Because I have all the initials all written
Got
down. Okay, thank you. Also, I sent you information from Cinnamon about a work party that she's asking for volunteers to come and help her. What was the, let me get this organized. She called it, a work party, to get the barrels and pallets moved into the Connex box 3 on February 21st. And so she's with Hatfield Marine Science Center, you remember who she is. I can't go because I have another commitment that day, and I think I emailed you guys
Yes, you did.
separately, so you would have this information. So it's just an FYI, it's telling you when to show up, so it has nothing to do with us as a committee, but I know that she could use the help of you.
Could you clarify for me, that's talking about moving stuff up to the hill as opposed to the building,
I think
right?
so.
Yeah, okay,
Let me just read the first paragraph. We are going to hold a work party to get the water barrels and pallets moved into the Connex box on February 21st, from 9 to 12. We will be having several things to accomplish. We'll be moving the pallets from the site center to Safe Haven Hill,
okay,
and bring gloves, velocity clearing, and rinsing the new water barrels, rubber camp boots, and rain pants. We'll be using lots of water with bleach, so she's suggesting that you come prepared for that. Don't wear your best jeans and that type of thing. So anyway, I know she'd be able to, I know she'd love to have you if you're able to come to that type of thing. Okay. Let's see what else. Oh, this is kind of cool. I did get a copy of the sign-in sheets. We talked about that.
yeah.
These are the sign-in sheets that Karen and Deb and I had people sign. So we did have that. I was really happy to get that. And let's see. Okay, here's something I want to talk to you about. I want y'all to look at this through a new set of eyes. So I called Jerry Rainey with the Bowen properties. I was just curious to see what happened to that property. Did it sell? Was that post office? What happened to it? I just thought I'd just give a call. He's very nice. He called me back actually, and he said that when we talked to them originally, it was for I think 93,000, probably 93,000, 93, 96, I don't remember. I think it was 96 actually. And so we bid 90, and so that was rejected. He said that the newest evaluation from the county puts that property at $112,000. But he said what they wanted for it last year was $103,000. And he said that he would sell it to us for $103,000 instead of the $112,000. So I don't know, just want to get your opinion. Is that something that we should be considering?
Well, that's what we had in the budget, it was 103,000.
No, we did not have 103,000 for that property in that budget, we only had 90.
Oh, 90. Oh, I'm sorry, that's right, that's why we offered.
But we haven't used it. No, we haven't had any land acquisitions, have we, Kim?
We have had no land acquisitions.
Okay.
Well, that's
We
not
did
true,
too.
we did, we bought
Post
parking lot,
office.
so you won't have the 100 and some thousand.
Okay. How about for next year's budget?
Well, that has to be determined,
I'm
you
just
just put
saying.
in a request
I'm
for
just saying.
whatever you want, I mean, they just always put a placeholder in, but you can always ask for more. So if that's one of the asks, then we
Okay,
want
sounds
to
good.
figure out what that is.
So is this something that we think, no, heck no, or don't want to talk about it anymore, should we consider it? We'll have to go to city council once again, and you say we think it's a really good location.
I think the location is ideal for World Mark, it's just,
Well, and then Karen and I have a meeting on the 3rd with Worldmark.
oh, you do?
Yeah, we have a meeting with Worldmark, and I think that what I want to talk to him about, really, seriously, are you gonna help? And if you are, you're gonna give us money, we will do. If they have money that's all of a sudden appeared to where they can help us with what we're trying to do, that might be another reason to consider that property.
So when we consider that property, so I'm just trying to, because I'm all in. So that property would service everybody everybody that is north of here. It would service Worldmark, it would service until we get some kind of clue of what's going up on Depoe in the hills, it would service that. It would service North Point. It would service,
Williams
it
Avenue.
would service Williams Avenue, it would service, it could very well
Downtown.
service a great many people that are on the wall, which is what I call the strip there, the 101. That area is central. As I just said that, I was picturing it. I was picturing strings coming from all those areas I just said. That area is literally central to all of those areas. Is that accurate?
It is accurate.
So then I understand why we came to that piece of property seems centrally located. Just to remind us why we were so into that property.
Yeah, it was a perfect location.
It feels like it, and it's a place that everybody knows. All you have to say, it's next to the Depoe Bay Post Office.
Because if you have a site like, well, it's attached behind Joyce's house,
Right,
you know,
right,
and that particular piece of land, really, how many people would know about it?
right.
And so, you know, I wanted to give it some time.
It feels like location, I guess, is what I am saying. I mean, I know it's really pricey, like, are you kidding me? But it's
And the downside though is that it's in the tsunami.
It's right there on the edge.
It's on the edge, so we would have to put it towards William Street, we would, you know, because it looked like the tide pool is iffy.
Which is true, and so, and Randy, I'm 100% there, because we don't, these maps are, we've never been through one. So we don't know,
Right,
so we could be not even there, or it could be over there.
right.
And so you would think, well, just get away from the map as much as possible, totally hear that, totally hear that.
I'm just trying to think in terms of the city council, not
Absolutely.
what, because there seemed to be a pretty good amount of resistance.
If we
Nice.
had the and so I bring this up with Kim, I'm hoping your ears are perked. If we had a lead on anything up the hill there at Depoe Hills, I would say we should really, but every time we bring that up, it is shot down right away. Is that still the case?
It's not being shot down, it's just not anywhere close to being ready. He's still
But you
talking a couple years out.
But it wouldn't, right, but we wouldn't, they don't need to be moved in, and it's not like we're,
Well, they don't have a spot right now,
Well, why
but they won't have a spot in a position to give us a spot for a couple of years. The lift station wasn't gonna work, whatever Brady's idea of putting in a lift station was gonna work.
Well, you don't know where they wanna put that thing.
the
with
park.
Yeah, that thing with the lookout, whatever it's called.
Gazebo.
The observation tower, that's not a spot for a park where they would not put a cache there. That's not scheduled to be that kind of a spot.
Okay.
It's scheduled to be a lot nicer than putting a cache there.
Anyway, so that's what it feels like, that until, since what I believe, Randy, is the absolute perfect location out of the way of the tsunami zone, is up that hill. But every time we bring up that hill, I don't feel like we're ever given the opportunity to, well, here's the contact, or here's where we should go next. It feels like that's just not viable. And since
I'm
that's not
sorry,
viable.
I'm trying to understand, I just gave you the update.
No, that wasn't meant at you, Kim. I'm saying it feels like it's just not, it's
Well,
not,
it's nothing.
It's not anytime soon, but it's not off the table.
We can do this sooner than
So
that.
if you want something soon,
Yeah.
like within the next year, that's not the
that's
spot.
not even a thing,
No.
right?
Yeah, but otherwise, it's probably gonna happen. I may be really gray by then, but it's probably gonna happen.
It's just such an ideal
It
place.
is a perfect spot, and last time Chris was in here, I talked to him about it, he's absolutely down with it, they just,
It's just too early.
no, it's too early, cause it's only just got a phase 2.
Okay, so then that's the answer, whenever we
Yeah.
hear that from the
It's
council,
too early.
it's too early to even consider that would be a possibility.
Yeah, they're just not ready to say, yeah, we're gonna do this, but I know they will.
Now, is it possible, once we put, I'm sorry, this feels like super pie in the sky. So we do all this and we put it into that place. Is it possible then, we could move that container up to the top years from now, when actually Kim's gray and we're able to actually talk to the people about it? Is it possible then, and then we could actually sell then put this property over there?
Oh, we can have another parking lot.
We could have another park, we could do something, like we
Well,
could do something.
anything's possible, but then again, the beauty of this property is everybody knows where it is.
Everybody knows where it is. That's
You know,
exactly right.
You know, we just purchased, property in the parking lot where we can conceivably put a cash.
Got it.
It's like off of Collins, is on this street, is on that street, is behind some houses.
Okay.
And so post office, you know, that everyone knows where that
Yeah,
is.
exactly. I totally.
Yeah.
And in the short term too, I think it would also help elevate the awareness.
See, that's great because it's so visible. I love
Right.
that. Okay, so the last time it was brought up, and I'm picturing the council member that was here sitting, and so he immediately was like, well, we never offered to anybody else. Is there anybody in that vicinity we could offer this opportunity to?
Well, you could try him again, see if he's got anything. And I just, before you guys move on to that, I just wanna make one comment. Everybody's talking about the Bolden property being central and everybody knows where it is. It's not about whether everybody knows where it is, it's about how you communicate. They're gonna have to learn where they can't obviously see. So if you put one on Winchell, you would have to teach them to go to Winchell. If you put one on Sidbridge, you have to teach them to go to, so it's not, that may be a great location, but not because it's easier to communicate. So when you guys are thinking about presenting to the council, oh, well, don't say, well, it's central, okay, everybody can find it, that's not the message you want.
I agree, except for the temporary folks, and it's closest to
Non-residents that day.
the bigger condominium rentals, all those kind of things, which is one of our real concerns of that extra 1,000 some people that.
Yeah.
And it is, but the other pushback you've gotten on that is why are we taking care of Worldmark? What's Worldmark gonna do?
Well, because Walmart, as I said, I'm gonna go talk to them again, but it's always, we got flashlights, and that's all, you know,
It's
that's it.
it's a thing you're going to have to overcome, because why is the city taking care of their guests? Why would we be the ones to say we're gonna get a 2,000 never cash because we wanna make sure that they're taken care
I
of?
know.
That's not our job. It's our job to do the best we can prepare, but it's just an argument you're gonna have.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that to fore because that's exactly what we're gonna be up against.
But I agree with you, Kim, in the fact that you're 100% correct. If we have an event, they're still gonna come to us, whether we prepare for it or not.
So when we say we wanna do this, in approaching what Kim's saying, so be ready for that argument. Is there a way for you and I to go talk with Worldmark before we go before the city?
Yeah.
Let's do that. And then we will have that. So Kim, what else are you picturing besides, so we'll have an answer for that one. What else are we gonna run up against that day before? Cause it would be really nice to run this through and for us to have an answer to everything. If they're gonna throw Worldmark at us, then let's talk to Worldmark.
And just to be clear, it's not just Worldmark either, it's the village, I mean, that's,
Oh, I know.
give a whole bunch
But
of
they're just
rental, and
most of it.
it's several hotels, the Travelodge,
It's all about the messaging.
right,
If you go in
I
there and
agree.
you just say that we're going to take care of all those Worldmark,
Right.
all the tourists,
Right.
it's not supposed to be just about that. We're supposed to be focusing on residents first, and yes, we are gonna have to provide spots for the tourists to go, we know that, because it's not gonna wait until the winter to have an incident, if it's gonna be an incident, we don't know
You
when.
know what's gonna happen though, when it happens is, the people from Worldmark, they're not gonna come down here, they're gonna go up to where they're not ready to have us do a cash yet. Up at the,
Within the.
That's where I'd go,
yeah.
if I was in Worldmark, I'd go straight up Lillian.
Exactly.
I don't even know if I would try to find the post office location unless Roadmark does a good job of saying it's there. I would head straight to the highest place I could find.
But again, remember, we're talking about short term, like the first 4 hours or 8 hours.
Right, exactly.
Once that gets kind of settled, then the question will be,
Right.
this may be a day or 2 or 3 or more, where are things?
And an assembly
So-
area is different than
Then-
cash.
yeah.
Right.
So
Gonna
Deb,
get help.
Deb, you want to go with me, I'd ask Karen, she's been with me before, but I don't care between you two, if whoever wants to go.
Right, we'll go see if we can nail it down.
If it's the three of you,
I think that's.
We can't do it because it's a quorum.
That's too many.
If you have an appointment.
That's all right, and it can be the two of you, I'm just saying, let's get some answers to the Worldmark question.
the other thing is that they have said, they, not being specific,
Right.
talked about the city buying money, or buying money. And only,
Bitcoin.
buying property, spending money on property.
Rather
Just
than having it
overall.
donated.
Rather than, other things to spend money on, you've heard the whole, we don't have our audits,
Right.
audits have nothing to do with whether or not the city has money to buy property, but that's come up, so.
Well, another thing too, which is nice, we've already paid for a city engineer, what studies, I think that's what.
No, he just went out and looked at it, but there's no, because it's a flat site, there really isn't
Yeah, so
anything.
there's no
The
man.
other thing is you have to realize that whatever you pay for it, depending on what you wanna do with it, like if you wanna asphalt it, there's gonna be road and drainage and all that stuff. Do you wanna fence it? So it's not just, when you're talking about the price of something, it's not just the price of the property, it's all of the things you wanna do to it.
Well,
So-
and unlike Stonebridge, that had specific things they want, we can decide pretty easily. And, do we want a fence, do we want this or the other?
Well, that was just the, what Stonebridge was.
That's what I'm saying.
The grant that we were gonna go for was over 100,000. That was just for the cash and the supplies, the fencing, the pad, all of that. So when you're thinking about putting a cash out there, depending on what size and all that, you could be spending an additional 50 to 100,000, depending on what side, to do a cash. Then full ready to hit the ground running, box cash ready to go. Because you're talking about needing power, generators, how do you want, so you're talking about supplies, all of the shelving, all of this stuff. So just remember, when your ask isn't just 100,000 or 103 for the property,
No, it's just
otherwise
the
we
beginning.
have a property that's sitting there until we make a plan for it. And that's another thing, they're gonna wanna know what your plan for it is. And
Well,
if you simply say cash,
I'm thinking that, are we really ready to do all of that? Can we ask for the purchase of the land and then work on getting it
Sure.
supplied the next year?
That's what I was.
Yeah, because I don't think we can ask for.
that means coming with them with a plan,
Right,
not just,
so
hey, we wanna
phase
buy
one,
this property,
phase
we
two.
think it'll
Right,
be
ask
a great
budget
place
for
for the
this,
cash.
budget for
Well,
that.
here's our plan, we wanna buy the property this year, next year we wanna do this, you know, that's what I mean by a plan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
well,
having actually been a plan for what it is.
Well, that makes all sense in the world. Okay, sounds good, all right. So anyway, I'm glad I called in, and at least we had a good conversation, we'll pursue it and see what
Is there
we
a
want to do.
time, is this time sensitive?
I would think that I believe that it has.
I feel like it is
Yeah.
too, since we've been talking with him for almost a year, haven't we?
A little bit over a year.
Okay, so I would think it's time.
And by the way, just to confirm, the offer, we said, was 93,
Okay, 93.
93,000.
Mhm.
But at that point, I think during the budget discussions and everything, the number got changed to 90.
Okay,
It was at one point proposition, let's try 88, so,
well, I remember.
we've
that
gone around, so, and then when they came back and it was 103.
Yeah, well, when I first talked to him, he said that he would work with me because of the reason that we wanted the property. And I was really surprised that he upped the rate on us,
Right,
but that's, I think. that-
Can I ask for some clarification on, so isn't there something about, so is there some type of money levied against, I'm sorry, my words aren't gonna be great here,
Mhm.
because I don't wanna use the word tax, so I'm trying to come up with a way not to say tax. Is there a way that our hotel, motel, VRBO, are they, did that pass where we get some type of money from that, the city? Was there something?
Part of transit room tax.
Okay, so describe transit room tax to me.
Well, everybody that rents a motel room here pays 12% tax to the
And that
city.
includes worldwide.
And that's happening now.
Right, $1.2 million of income.
Okay, and then that money is budgeted how, Kim? How does that money go?
So it's 12%, the first 7% gets cut right out and goes right into the city's budget. So that's, if you think of our budget being 1.8 million, which it was,
Okay,
that's a pretty significant chunk that goes right
sure,
to
okay,
the general fund for us to use.
Okay.
There's another 1% that has been allocated for public safety, which we're talking about sheriff and stuff like that. We're not talking about emergency repair.
okay.
The rest of the money has to be gone between 70 and 30, which means 70% to tourism marketing, promotion, tourism related facilities, and the 30% is for city services.
And this is, what are we in any of that?
City services.
Okay, and I really, really appreciate you knowing all of that without having to, that's crazy. So are we able to look at that city services money for anything?
You can look for part of it, but remember, the city services encompasses streets, roads, streets, water, all those different things, depending on what we do, we have a lot of the harbor stuff, like restrooms and things like that.
And that goes there too.
Yeah,
So we're all into that, looking for that.
So you guys currently right now have 25,000 that's budgeted into the transient room tax to do some kind of an emergency preparedness
So we have
flyer.
25.
And I'm actually working on that with somebody to put together an evacuation flyer, including so we can make sure the hotels get it. I'll got that later.
Okay,
So we're gonna use that money for there, but yeah, can you get more money for emergency preparedness? You can ask.
yeah,
You
but
know?
that's when we go before the council.
Mhm.
Okay, I just wanted, because I knew that was, it was like eating a wormhole in my head, like, wait a minute, is there money there? So it's really not, so just.
Well, if I might also clarify,
Yeah.
that right now, the 70-30 is a bone of contention with a lot of cities. In fact, it's before the legislature right now.
Okay.
To either, to better define what city services are.
Okay.
Because right now, it's not clear. We have several attorney memos that I've digested because it's about, tying it to the tourists and how can they do that. So we're hoping, the cities, is that we will get some more clarity out of the legislature, what we can spend this money on. So that could change things.
Sure.
Can you position that property? I don't know if we can make that argument. We can make the argument for the cash, but not probably for the purchase of property.
Okay, thanks, really clear. And that also goes in case Woodmark brings up that to us, be like, do you have my answers? Firmly in my head right now is, do you realize how many people in the city of Depoe need that money? It's all about that, so it's really not about, when we talk emergency, I really want us to focus on what you're doing, and so I'm already firming up what I would, how I would respond to him saying, we're already getting money, and it wouldn't be, yeah, but where all that money goes.
Well, I'm giving him,
Yeah, perfect, that's what I needed to hear.
I'm giving him a copy of what we received from Laura.
Got
where it talks about the statistics. And 1,000 of these 1,600 displaced people
That's huge,
come from.
that's exactly right, that's the numbers I wanted to see
Yeah,
as
so
well.
I have a copy for him.
And that was our fatalities, the fatalities here, our fatalities aren't our residential areas that are away from the water's edge. The fatalities are all of these, or all of that, so that's new information we can show him, or you guys can show whoever goes. Show him what's going on, I really want to be sure he's not feeling like they're already giving us money, it's already being spent. That's why I was looking for a little clarification in case he brought it up, that money's going, and that this is a whole different head, I mean, a vibe and a head, as far as
That sounds
looking
real
at, he's being responsible for the lives of his guests.
I know, I agree with you.
Not looking at the city to be responsible for the lives of its guests is kind of where I'm at. Yeah, so I was
Agree with
trying to learn how to be.
Okay, Deb, we'll have to get together and
Yeah.
figure out what to do. My next thing was, we're meeting with Walmart. And Kim, you gave us a copy of the evacuation plan. Would you like to talk about that now, or?
No.
Not really?
I have nothing to talk about, this is and this is
You're in
what,
it, you're in it
remember,
though.
you guys were involved in those meetings.
Okay,
This
but
evacuation-
your name is in it.
I know, because I was on the steering committee and helped put it together, but
Okay.
I mean, I didn't come prepared to do anything with it, so.
Well, I didn't know if you had anything to say about it. How about the other end?
I think it's okay.
It's a massive amount of information, and I would like for this committee to actually spend time and look at it at a meeting. They said we wanna do that thing in March, I would like to be sure that we spend that time on this as well. And maybe having done that March 10th thing with those people will help us look at this with more educated eyes
Mhm.
than we look at this, comb through this page by page. I've got so many notes
I
from this
know,
document.
I know.
Me too, and I'd like to add to your suggestion about it being kind of maybe a topic for the year.
Yeah,
I would like us to consider starting with the page 26, the 5 islands,
yes,
because it would be a good time now to start answering the question about where are the ideal cash locations,
yeah,
given the islands now.
that's exactly right.
So,
Yep.
Okay, great. So the other handout you gave us, Kim, was short-term rental, and it's got other things in it. Do you wanna?
Well, I didn't know if you wanna talk about that now, you guys haven't even gotten through your business.
Well, I know that I'm in the section where we're talking about comments from everyone, so would you like to do it later or now?
Let's do it later, let you get through the rest of your stuff.
Okay. Alrighty.
I don't wanna be here till 10.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So-
I got a puppy at home, you know.
No.
I do, I have a baby Shih Tzu, he's almost 4 months old, he's very cute.
So the next part of the agenda was, friends in high places, and so I gave you, a handout just to kind of recap what, Deb and I found out, because we did an inventory. First of all, the first part of this is the budget that we, had and all the supplies that we did. There's, some things that I think Deb and I would do differently, like we didn't put any, contractor grade, bags for like the toilets, and, Deb found a really good lock for the,
Right, we'll talk
for
about
the-
that. And we
rolling
also
unit.
talked about, we wanted to put, so there's tarps in there, and that tarps can be used for a couple of things, but you need bungee cords for that, and so we wanted to add, bungee cords to this list. When it came with 30 tents, which we only asked for 20, and we were charged for 30. So part of the process, I provided, I'm sorry, I'm jumping on you, Joyce, is that
No,
okay?
that's okay.
So part of our process is, so when these things come in, then one of us needs to show up, and any of us can use this, so I made this inventory.
Mhm.
And so then you would go through and you take everything out of it, and then you're able to, and then when you do that, that also helps you know how it all fits in like a Jenga game, and how you get it all to fit back in there with no
That
problems.
was
And
hilarious.
so it was hilarious.
We
And
had like a little trail.
if it's not the two of us, I would tell you, what you do is you unload it so that when you load it back in. You start out here and then you put your last part right here, so then you know how it goes back in. You take pictures like we did as you go, so that you get it all back in there. Because it is a puzzle to go in. So, when it arrives, it needs to be inventory right away, because we paid for 10 tents we didn't need, which means we have 10 tents we need to decide
And the
what we
next
wanna
one.
do with. A part of me hesitates to then do the next one with 10 less, and then from then on 20, just only because that's just one more thing for people to not get right. But anyway, so we went through and did it, and it's pretty easy to do. And then the way, so you have a form that we made up because of that. So arrival inventory, you would do that. Who does that? The install is when it goes to whoever gets it, and then there's a process to that. Well, that's another whole form. But when they get it, then you actually take it all out so the person sees what's on their property. And then you put it all back in, so that then you have inventory again, so they can say, when you go in 6 months to inventory, because it is inventoried every 6 months by one of the volunteers on this committee, to be sure that it's ready to go and still good and in a safe place, and we're accountable for the $2,000 that we spent, it's a little less than that, I know, to have this thing out there. We remain diligent with that, and so then that's what this form continues to allow you to do, and there's one of these forms for every one of our ballot barrels, and so it either stays with or da-da-da. And then you need to lock it. And so I am suggesting this lock, but if anybody has another lock idea, you need to lock it. And then I actually have the set for the phone number for the last 4 digits of the number.
So let's put
Because I figured that way, Kim would know what it is. So,
I'll write it down somewhere.
that's right, it's 236.
So I would like for you guys to really, just to look this up.
Those are
The only thing that Deb and I are not sure about was,
There was one. I took it off. You didn't put it back on? I haven't put it back.
There wasn't a,
Yeah, I took it off. I took the lock off.
we didn't see a lock in there, we didn't put it.
Yeah, I put it on the shelf.
So I'm gonna give this, you guys are gonna be in the building,
I'll be in tomorrow.
will you?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's 2361.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, you guys keep talking, I'll show her how to lock it.
okay, so, just read this because this is gonna be a big part of our,
Yeah. Very good. Do you want me to pay for that?
No, you did this one, but it is something we need to add to it.
Yeah.
And that's
Perfect.
so easy.
Those are great, yeah.
Okay, and then it'll go through that thing, it'll make it.
okay, and this, all the pages I gave you, it is, listing what's on the medical bag. And then we looked at this radio, and this is something that we just need your opinion as to whether this needs to be in the bin, because, there was like $32, I found the same thing on Amazon for like $22.50. And what it is, it's a Mayday, solar radio with flashlight, but it's also a weather radio. Is that something we should continue?
Absolutely.
You think so?
You think they need to have, why? Explain to me what that person would do. So, okay, picture 20 people from World Mark coming upon this, and this stuff is being disseminated out. Then who are you gonna hand that to?
You're gonna keep it right at the owner of the place will keep it. Hopefully they have one,
That's what I'm saying. The owner of the place has already proved to us that they're connected.
but they've got, maybe if we don't need it, then.
See, I can't imagine 20 people walking up to that thing. I believe that the homes that we're outfitting with this, I believe communications and having radios is huge.
Yeah.
That's critical,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know that the 20 people that we're giving water and a
Yeah.
food bar to and a tent and a poncho, I don't know that one of those 20 people needs to walk away with a $32 item out of that bucket. I just, do you know, does that make sense to anybody? I mean, as we had it all spread out, picturing people coming up on those first days, I just couldn't see how I'm gonna hand that radio to somebody.
Well, but you wouldn't hand it to a one person. The radio is for the people gathered around that's sharing the supplies.
Right,
And so that's where the radio would come in.
and so what we've also handed them is a radio.
Mhm.
There's also a GMRS in there.
Oh, there's two of them.
Right. So there's a pair.
And batteries.
And so if channel 1 is
Exactly.
programmed for the NOAA
Exactly right. So
weather, then it's redundant.
So then it's redundant, is how it felt to me.
If the host has,
Is-
that's
is-
part
is
of the
plugged
requirement of the host, then I agree.
So
with
you're
that.
thinking we should spend that $32 or $22 or more?
And that could go to the
Or-
budget.
okay.
Yeah.
So no radio, is that of that kind?
And we really looked at all the items right across the floor like that.
Mhm.
Like, here's this person walked up. Are they gonna use that? To the point that we looked at the food and like, cause it comes, your 4-day supply. I know that it's 72 hours is the way that it's tricked out, that the food comes 4 days and it's 4 mega bars and they're all in a thing. And I'm thinking, oh, so how do we even were like, how do we cut these up? And then do we have them come back on it? And we're like, no. When they show up, we hand them their tent, we hand them their food for the next 4 days, we hand them, and then they're able to establish with the help of whatever community this barrel is in, that they have it all, that it's handed to them all at once. And so as we're picturing that moment, we get to that radio, and it's like, well, wait a minute, I mean, what are they doing with that? What is that? And it was 30, and then we looked at the amount, and it was $30, and it felt like.
It was way.
We have 8 of these somewhere,
Okay,
and we've spent,
okay.
$250 on radios that are just not getting used, so.
Okay. All right, so that's good.
Yeah.
So, next meeting, March the 10th, we just need to fine tune, what we
Yeah.
think for the
And I think
barrels.
we did, yeah.
And change a little bit.
Yeah, the tent, we did, it's good, it's nice, actually.
Yeah, I think so. So new business, we'll talk to you guys about the date of our March event. So we had it scheduled for the 15th and Laura couldn't do it on the 15th. And then Felicia couldn't do it for any other date in March except the 22nd, which is the same day that Laura can do it. Looking at our calendar, community calendar, it won't be available till sometime in June. Miss Fleet Flowers has it for the whole month of May. Randy came up with a concern that that's also spring break
That's the start of spring break.
and that he can't be at the event. So committee, let me know what your thoughts are. Should we have it on the 22nd without Randy and it's spring break, or should we do it later in the year?
I think the question that I brought up wasn't because of me not being here, was because of other people that are gonna have family in or are gonna be out and traveling, and it might not be a priority time that people will want to come to an event. That was what I was, that's why specifically, I wouldn't expect
Right.
not to do something, because I just can't.
But our events later in the year have not been as well attended. We did one in June and we had like 13 people.
Right, people don't come, so we were trying to catch these folks before they're out of town.
Yeah.
That would be my thought, to go ahead and do it since Laura and Felicia are committed to their schedule to do it on that day.
Yeah.
But your point's
Point's well
taken,
taken.
Randy. Okay,
The fire department is available, Captain Gansel, his chief is given permission to be able to be there. It was getting on his calendar is not just I understand we need to get the vendors there, but we also want the fire department to be able to attend, and so we would also coordinate with his calendar. And so he was available on the 15th.
and I told him I
that
would
fell
call him
through.
tomorrow when we satisfied what we were gonna have, so I'll give him a call.
Yeah, so he's already got it cleared with his chief if it's the 22nd, if it's not, then he'll.
Okay,
And what did we decide we're calling the event or basing it?
Randy can't be here event.
Oh, okay, all right, then you'll get a big crowd.
Well, I think we need to focus, because it's gonna be Laura's presentation and Felicia's, we haven't come up with any advertising or anything like that, one thing we need to work on. I think that it needs to be something like, are you ready, or, this can happen, or something like that, because I really would like for the people to come to this. I think they will come because this is a geologist that's talking about it. It's not just, Samantha from Lincoln County, who all is wonderful, but I still think that if you have a professional that can give us the same presentation that they gave us, I think that would be what we need to do.
May Day presentation,
I'm sorry?
a May Day
Yeah,
presentation,
something like that.
something like that,
We
you
can
know.
definitely call it
Focus
something
around our
Did you
different.
say May?
May Day in March.
She was.
Oh,
She was
we're
ready
still
to go.
talking about March 22nd,
Yeah,
she was
right?
talking about
Okay,
May
I was
Day,
like, what?
May Day.
Okay.
Mhm.
I was like,
Get me out of here.
whoops.
It took me a moment too.
Okay.
I was thinking of something like,
So maybe not put the month of May in it, because that, people will be confused that it's not in May.
Yeah, you should just see
Okay.
what happens
But
when
I
you
get where
have the
you're going
wrong
with
day
that.
for a Zoom meeting in the calendar.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something
Parks
with
Commission.
tsunami in it.
or something like 2 to 6 weeks ready.
I like 2 weeks, man, always.
Mhm. But of course, that's not our program.
It was so bad.
Yeah, that's
I know
already,
that's
that's
just-
already.
But I
So
mean,
what-
we can communicate that it's
As long as
not
we don't
really
use
what
our
we've
logo.
done before, and what the county has done.
Yeah.
14 days ready.
So what we call it up in, and then CERT calls that it's, so phrases. Lifestyle preparedness, that's the CERT phrase. Up in U of A, we call it aware and prepared.
Mhm.
Um,
I like that. Can we borrow that one?
oh, yeah, we don't, yeah,
Okay.
right, but it
And
doesn't,
could we do like 2 weeks aware and prepared?
yeah. Because I just have been writing an emergency preparedness fair, but we kind of use that.
That's all I've been putting on there too.
That's that what you
Yeah.
do? Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, Kim.
No, I was like, oh.
I'm in your head, that's not good.
So who was the, and again, I'm just trying to make sure that we're not spinning our wheels and putting a lot of energy into it. The anticipated audience during what is a moderate tourist time, like, businesses
Mhm.
aren't gonna be,
I think
grandparents.
we're gonna target our islands,
Yes.
our
Well, that's
Poor
gonna be
people.
the other part
Yeah,
of it.
grandparents with kids, are they gonna?
Don't know, but I think that.
They will come.
I think
They will come.
this is a
People will come.
retirement community, I'm not gonna have my grandkids, some might, but I think we'll do the advertising on Facebook and putting up some posters and things like that, that usually brings people in. And I think because of the nature of what this is, it's not the second top one in the county, it's something completely different. I think that will pique everyone's interest. And we'll just, post on the normal spot, so I'll get
Did we come
together
up
with
with a name?
I'm sorry?
Did we come up with a name?
I think we talked about aware and prepare 2 weeks.
Prepared.
Or,
But I think we said 2 weeks
We
ready.
did.
and we're prepared.
yeah, I have 2 weeks down, so 2 weeks aware and prepare, maybe, do you like that?
So, and then as I'm picturing this, to have an area that's really targeted to what are they called, Kim, the people that own the stuff that bring the tourists in, who are they?
You talking about the motels, hotels,
Yeah,
short-term
yeah.
rental folks?
What are they called? Do they have an
Lodging.
organization?
They don't have it.
They don't have, so it's lodging, so
Yeah.
resident, so guest lodging. I'd really like to target them, because we're gonna talk to them, but really cater, because that's what the council wants to hear,
Mhm.
is that we're not just spending resident money that we're really trying to get.
Well, why don't you and I go and knock on doors when we're out together,
Got
and we'll just have an appointment with, and by the way, Karen said she's fine with you.
it. I'm sure she is.
I know she's- No, she said she has a doctor's
Karen.
appointment.
I have a doctor's
Doctor's
appointment
appointment.
on the 3rd, I didn't know that these are no plans.
So we can just knock on some doors.
But I'm talking about the 2 weeks ready, emergent,
Yeah.
rare, and prepared thing,
We-
like there
yeah.
be something that's specifically geared for those people to come and see.
Like a tourist that's here. Okay, then you're gonna have short table entertaining stuff, not,
'cause
not
you've just
2
done a
hours,
thing.
not 2 hours of sitting and listening to fascinating stuff.
Right,
You're gonna need, people could come and go, visit tables, booths,
Right,
those
right.
kind of things. Just,
Yeah, that's right.
just,
Right,
again, the
because they're not-
audience, yeah, they're
The
not,
audience isn't, yeah.
that's not what they're gonna be around
And how
for.
many of these hotel owners are gonna want
Oh.
their guests to go because they're afraid they're gonna.
They don't wanna
Well,
publicize
that was the issue with
the
Walmart.
fear
Yeah.
factor.
I still think that maybe not on the 3rd, but I think that it would be fine for us to start knocking on some doors, introduce ourselves
Right.
as an emergency preparedness committee, and we're trying to work with different people to,
Right.
you have any plans?
Was Samantha gonna come on the 22nd? She can't make it?
No, I actually did not invite her, because the second part of this will be our barrels and garages program. I told Samantha about it, and told her that I wanted to have her at a later event, maybe in the end of the year.
Okay.
And is that the same thing as this, the Friends in High Places thing?
Places is
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about the same
Friends
thing.
and High
That's
Places
what I
is
was,
the barrel.
okay.
We try to get away we're
I-
trying not to use barrel anymore
Yeah.
because
Right.
they're not barrels, but it's hard because
I know, that's what we've
that's
been calling it
that's
for
how we've been
years.
calling it for
Yeah.
a year, so we're trying to.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to make sure
Whatever.
it was the same.
rolling in.
Rolling bin.
Because that's the garbage to me. My garbage is rolling in.
So on the 10th, we need to figure out a bunch of stuff about the presentation. We need to figure out what we're gonna do for food, giveaways, advertising, and things of that nature. So,
We need to do that before the dinner.
probably so.
We need to get that. I mean, I'll do the hot dogs and hamburgers.
Okay,
And we've got leftover chips that I forgot to.
Fine.
Good
okay.
planning,
I
good
know.
planning.
So we're good.
So Kathy, Kathy's suggesting for food, we'll do the normal hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff. And you can bring the ones out of your freezer, we can use them again.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, and so, Kim, can I work with you on giveaways and advertising?
Yes,
Okay,
just to talk real quick about the money, we can go into more detail when we get a budget, but you guys are sitting looking pretty good for what you have left in your budget. So if you really wanna do something
like for giveaways, really,
big,
like
yes,
for giveaways?
yes,
We can-
or something. So you're gonna have,
Yeah.
I would say you have right now about 60,
Wow.
about 60,000.
Well, I would like to just buy some more bins
We're
for
gonna
the
do bins.
garages.
Yeah.
To buy, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna,
Because
a
we
little
have-
less than $2,000 a pop, that'll be great, because we wanna put out.
Yeah, we have, storage unit.
That'd be
I think
great.
We should do that. Let's just go ahead and get like 8 bins, and then we can figure
And
out
then using
supplies.
this island map, be sure that we've got them around in those islands. Yep.
And so Kim, you talked about the grant, and of course I'm jumping another part of the agenda. But if we go to the grant that you showed us in the packet with Lincoln County, can we also ask for money for not necessarily hashes, but can we ask for some barrels or some bins?
You mean to do that instead of, yeah, I think that they would go more for that than us asking for a third time.
Let's do that,
cash supplies.
yeah.
So I would not have recommended us ask for cash supplies.
Okay, can we just ask for money for bins?
Yeah, just
Let's
say
do
we're
that.
planning on, you can do your Friends in High Places, we can submit that, material that you have, if you have, did you give an updated one? Did you have an updated one then?
What, the thing that went to bins?
You know, this stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah,
perfect.
that's,
Yeah.
we'll just present that and prior that you also gave me, and we'll just say this is what they wanna do this year, and, so the grants for 2,500.
Mhm.
That's 2,500, that's
Yes,
all it is.
2,500, so it'll get you one.
Yeah.
Plus something extra.
So, do we need a motion to purchase 8 of our rolling bins?
So before we make that motion, we wanna change the inventory on the bin. We wanna take off the radio. We
Well-
wanna add some, we wanna be sure it's 20
So,
tents, and we wanna add bungees. So how do we do that before we motion to buy that? Since it's under 25, we don't
Well,
need it.
we're talking about just buying the bins itself for that grant. And then we have money left over, or we have some money to start putting in supplies into the barrels.
Oh,
So
we're not
we-
talking about getting from Ready America again.
I'm sorry, yeah, we can.
Don't they come bin and is
Yeah.
wasn't
No,
that?
no, you can buy everything separately, because when we bought the bins, you and I came up with a list of what to put in the
Right.
bins. So we can buy bins, and we can also buy some supplies. Cameron, did you say we have what's roughly $60,000?
Roughly 60,000.
So the grant, we can say for the grant, we want the bins. And so for the rest of our budget, we can get the supplies that we have, we can fine tune the supplies that we wanna put in. Take out the radios and put in other things.
So Ready America will sell us the bin,
Yeah,
and then Ready America will sell us the stuff to go in.
absolutely, that's what they did,
And that's what we're going to do.
yeah.
Because I thought it came together.
No, you and I came up with what we wanted.
No, I know that.
But
I'm
when it
talking about,
physically arrived,
I thought that the bin arrived with this inventory in it. I
Yeah.
thought this is what came.
It did.
Or
We went over the inventory
It did.
before we ordered it.
Yeah,
yeah, and so now we're not gonna do it that way.
yeah. I don't, yeah.
Why would we do it that way? Just order
because
what we.
Yeah,
what
well-
we're just talking about is separating out the bins.
We'll
That's what we were just talking
we'll
about
do it that
with
way
the
with,
Why would we separate the bins
Yeah.
out?
Well, that's what they were just talking.
I wasn't talking about doing any separate actions, I don't know where you're pointing at me, I wasn't
we
talking about
can
that.
do it whenever the committee thinks. We can ask the county to give us
If you do this, we're gonna have to put in for 2 bids. We have to come up with 2,500 ourselves, and they'll give us 2,500.
Right.
Approximately 2 bids, give or take.
Right.
so,
So that's all you can get for the grant.
Right.
So if you wanna do others, that's,
so if we
1878.
bought, the bins with all the supplies we got, which is roughly $1,900. Take away the $32 and account for inflation, that's probably gonna be about $1,900 for a bin and the supplies. That's pretty close to the budget for the grant of $2,500. I'm thinking if we bought bins for $169, that might get us closer to the $2,500. That makes sense?
No.
No,
Because
I don't understand why
Why would we buy
please
this?
explain to me, I'm not saying don't do it, I'm saying it's just so much easier for my brain to picture the bin coming with all the stuff in it.
Okay.
Correct it,
Okay.
correct it, with just 20 tents, not 30.
But that's gonna be roughly $1,900.
Yeah, but that's what we're thinking, right, it's gonna be
And
around
so what do we tell the county we're gonna do with the rest of the money, the other $600?
We're gonna buy 2 bins and bill them for the 2 bins, and we'll pay for,
pay for whatever's left over.
they'll pay us for 2,500, which will cover 1 and a
Plus
third.
one and a little bit. And then, Joyce, I appreciate how creative you're being with like trying to get it all.
So we're just gonna do it on paper.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it on
Just
paper.
divide it out on paper.
We're just gonna have it come, although I do need for Ready America to send the right stuff, to send the 20, not the 30, and not bill us for the 30, and I also need us to take out the radio, and I need us to, with that 10 that they billed us for, and the radio, we can buy a bunch of cords.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna.
Well, let's get together and come up with a new
Yeah,
list for that. and then
right, but that's what
price
we came up with, right?
Yeah,
We need to
exactly.
change.
it. Okay,
Okay, so I make a motion, we purchase 8 bins, rolling bins.
Okay, good. That are tricked out.
Tripped out,
tricked out.
tripped out, full to the
Love
brim
it.
of emergency.
Jenga supplies.
okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Karen, second. Everybody in favor, show your hands. Okay, thank you.
Oh, great, 8, that's so exciting.
Thank you, I'm glad. I know that we had a lot of response from the event on the 25th. So a lot of people came up, what is that? What is
Yeah,
that?
they were
Something has
impressed.
some
It
interest,
looks good,
yeah.
it's impressive.
Can I ask a clarifying question on the distribution of these?
Mhm, mhm.
So the people the 20 people and the host, which is 19 plus the host, this is all being provided for them?
It's
Or
not
do they
provided
have
for
to
the
pay?
host. The host is prepared.
The host has to be.
The host
Okay,
has their own
that's not my
supplies.
point, okay, for the 19 people, they're not paying anything,
No.
I was unclear in that,
But
I
what we
understand, I don't care, I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
My
People don't walk up
understanding
and
was
pay.
originally, what people were hearing there was that the 20 of us pitch in $50 or
No.
$75.
No.
Okay,
No,
okay,
that's the beauty of this, is in.
don't need to
Yeah.
discuss it, I just
No.
know that
Mhm.
the understanding, there were many people with the understanding that I had, which is not that.
Well, and that's why we wanted to be part of our agenda. So the other thing that we're gonna have to determine as a committee is, okay, I've heard from like Little Bell Cove wants a couple, your group wants
Little
some.
House 3, for sure.
What have you, and I think HOAs are fine, so we have to determine if someone in South Point wants one. We can't
Exactly
do
right.
that.
Yeah,
No,
perfect.
we can't do that, so we have to look at it carefully, and so I came up with an agreement, and I think Kim's been
Oh, excellent.
shown it to the attorney. You think you'll have that ready by the 22nd of March?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
And so in there, it says you need to be prepared, number one, if you want one of these barrels, and then have it your house high enough to where it's going to not be a problem.
Perfect. And then as we pointed out, that being prepared, it also means that they're, have a way to communicate with the Depoe network, the EOC network.
Good idea.
Yeah, not just the fact that they have water and that they have food and that they've got their own tent and they've got their own supplies in their garage, but they also have, are actively engaging in the EOC.
Okay, that sounds really good, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay, so now I need another clarification. On the list is a handheld, a set of handheld radios.
What,
Show me what goes
ready?
Second from the bottom, Midland handheld ex-Stalker
Right.
GMS radio.
So what was your
I
question?
totally, yeah,
I'm really confused.
gotcha.
So you're asking that the hosts have their own already and are
Yes.
connected?
That they're already
And
prepared.
so these two radios then,
Exactly, I hear you. The only reason they're on here is because when we talked about this supply list before, I believe it was, you started the conversation, is that part of being prepared is being able to communicate. And you were pretty adamant that these 20 people that are coming up, you're gonna wanna be sure that they can communicate on their own, which is why there's two radios in this thing.
But the two radios are for not the host of the barrels, but for anybody else.
Anybody else in the group. So what do you think about that, Randy? Because I was totally going off of your feeling about communication, because Little Well Cove has done that so well.
yeah, I was just totally confused,
You thought
obviously,
that had
about
to
a
do
whole
with the
bunch of this, yeah.
No,
So-
these barrels are not for the host at all. We want to be really clear
Okay,
that
that's great,
that
that's
the
fine.
city isn't making a point of putting stuff at any one person's house for them to use, because then that's
Yeah,
just.
that part I understand.
Let the fees.
That's fine, I just needed to clarify.
So what do you think about that there's two radios that are being handed out?
I think that it's fine because there's, assuming that the 20 people are in some proximity, that somebody have one in the furthest away on the north and south side from the host, they can have some
Well,
radio
and then
communication.
we looked at what Seaside did, and they have radios, and theirs is not the same, we have to do what Seaside does, but they thought this out much longer than we thought it out, and evidently they thought it was a good idea to do that.
And did their hosts have to have,
I don't
Radio,
know.
yeah,
I
then,
don't know.
okay.
I don't
Right,
know.
which is, again, which is, we're trying, which is, we're
No,
not
I think it's good.
replicating the.
I just needed it clarified.
Yeah, so when you apply, you've proven that you are aware and prepared, that you're emergency preparedness savvy, that you are connected with, that you on occasion listen to the Little Well Cove on Saturdays, that you are, because you've decided that when these people come looking for assistance, that you have wheeled this out of your garage, which tells people that you are providing things for them, not for yourself. And then you're willing to hand it out and to whatever they seem to need. Like if, like you're willing to, okay, well, there's an empty lot over here, you may wanna be pitching your town, I mean, that you're willing to be some type of, if there was a cache in this place, you would be considered a cache captain. But we don't, these aren't caches, and we have a whole binder for a cache captain.
Right.
This is a little different, but it seemed to be something we could
Right.
get out there,
Right.
since the caches were not getting out.
Right,
Yes,
that's
yes,
fine,
uh-huh.
sounds great.
I think we should give one away on the 23rd.
Give one away.
Give one away our barrels.
Oh,
Wouldn't that bring people in, a $2,000 get
As long
ready?
as the people who entered the drawing were the ones that
Were
were gonna be
aware and
prepared and.
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, see, you have to be careful, because you're not,
Yeah.
because,
That's a good
true.
idea.
yeah, we're not
Yeah.
handing out supplies that for people, this isn't an
Yeah.
excuse not to be prepared on yourself.
Yeah.
Which you helped clarify at a previous meeting.
Yeah.
Which was why I got this so nailed down, because you asked that question. And it's clear that this is, that you are so aware and prepared yourself, that you are aware that there are gonna be at least 20 people wandering your way in an event.
Mhm.
And what are you gonna do?
And so when this is introduced on the 22nd, you and I guess, because we're the only ones that
Right,
seem to like to do this, well, except for Kathy, of course, and Randy. You're the only one that does it, I'm sorry. But we can, we'll just explain all this.
Yeah.
You know, as to what's going on. So we're getting into the additional events later in the year. We'll talk about.
Before you move on, I have, just a comment on how you decide who gets these barrels.
right,
You're calling it Friends in High Places.
right.
Little Wellco is not a high place.
No,
But
but
it's above the.
But I also like you to think about, one of your reasons, what's your main reason for doing this program?
it's out of the inundation zone.
No, it's because you wanted to focus in on people who don't have an easy access to caches. So why would we give one to Stonebridge? Why would you give one to me if I asked for one? I'm out of the inundation zone, but there's a cache real close by. It seems to me that if this is a program you wanted to do in lieu of having a cache at the north end of the city,
Mhm.
that this is where you guys would focus on doing that. Making sure that the people who submitted first and who got the first opportunity were the ones that needed most. Like, do you have a cache in the other bank?
No.
So
we all-
that would be a place where it would make sense for them to have it.
Right, now we don't have because we applied for a cash and then we didn't, we didn't. I can tell you that our, majority of our households have, emergency supplies for 2 weeks.
Sure.
Which is quite phenomenal, we accomplished that in a year,
I
which is
know
pretty
you
cool.
did.
And so I can tell you that because, and part of our motivation was when we didn't get the cash, then everybody really.
Good.
Then it was because we don't have an ability to have it in a place, so we all need to be individually ready, and then people actually got motivated, started, okay, well, I've got room in my garage, okay, well, I can do that, and then they embodied the need themselves, which was great. And then, when we started thinking about an event and realizing that someone was there, some of our people have lived there during whatever tsunami scare there was, and apparently there were 25 cars, one of the
I remember you
residents.
saying that.
There were 25 cars and they all came up here and they were all up here on the hill. And it was like, oh my God, so these people are coming up here. Oh yeah, this is
Y'all
where
came
they're
to
all headed.
call too, up on Collins.
Yeah, so, right, so this is, so when we realized, oh, so we're that, then that's when it was like, and then Joyce was talking about the barrels, and I'm like, well, maybe we could do that, and so we got very interested in, that would solve that problem. I've got it all set aside, it's locked up, it's ready to go, you've got room up there, the event happens and all these non-residents have shown up, and I'm ready, it's out by the end of my driveway with little Seaside does,
Right.
and everybody knows where to come.
Right.
Is that, did that
So
make
that's
sense?
my point, okay, the idea from when you first talked about it
Right,
was in replacement of a cache you didn't think you were gonna get anytime soon.
Right.
Well, and
So why would we give ones to work communities that have a cache? I think you just need to be more thoughtful about who's applying and who needs it.
so when I'm presenting this program though, on the 22nd, I'm talking about it. And I can say, we're going to be selective as to where we're going to do it. Right now, we're trying to find out who potentially might want one. I know that.
I think you're gonna get a lot of people sign up for this.
I know, Seaside has 163.
Yeah, I think you will get a lot of people sign up for this.
I think so. But to tell them, I have no problem with saying we're gonna put them in the parts of town that need it most right now. And then we'll just try to, as the year.
Exactly, that's all I'm asking,
because
because it doesn't sound like that's what you were thinking about doing.
that's.
The idea is to look at who applies, and let's not just take people who apply on the 22nd.
Mhm.
It should be put out, all the homeowners associations should get a flyer, so they can share it with their residents. And then anybody who's interested can apply, and then you guys would actually look and say, okay, well, to meet our purposes of Friends in High Places and islanding, who should get these?
Then what about considering getting 10 bins and basically targeting 2 in each zone, each island,
Mhm.
5 islands? I mean, try to ideally
Well, we were
find,
talking about the quadrants before, the quadrants.
Yeah.
How you have the northeast, the northwest, the southeast, southwest.
Right,
Mhm.
and the reason why we did that was because that's how Paul, because he was so good about looking at the city and seeing it that way. And so between the quadrants and what I believe Randy's saying is now we've got really good geological information about the 5 islands that are gonna be. Then it actually builds on the quadrant island idea, looking at our, like, right, put the quadrant over that map and then knowing where they all end up, right.
All right, that sounds
But,
good.
right,
So Kim, I think we're on the same page with that. I just want to get through this because I know you guys
Okay,
have other things to do.
do we want to redo our motion to 10
Yes,
instead of
please.
8?
Well, do we need to do 9 since we already have one?
True.
Just order 9 more to go.
I'd like to leave that one at the community center.
Oh, the one that we have now? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so handy to have it there and,
Yeah, but in a
well, it's.
tsunami, it's gonna float away.
Yeah, maybe we should leave that up here
Yeah,
at City Hall,
We would put it in the storage unit.
storage unit.
yeah, that's where we thought we would
Oh,
keep it.
okay.
Yeah.
I'd say
yeah.
just order 10,
Just order 10,
get 10
okay.
as well.
I'd like to amend my motion from 8 to purchase rolling bins to,
taking into
Yeah.
account the 5 islands.
The
and
5
that we
islands.
would potentially wanna have 2 at each island.
Okay, I think we
Which
should-
then puts some context into where they.
Okay, so I hear a motion to do that. Are you okay? Yes,
Which
I'll
then
second.
clarifies what you said too, Kim, so that ties you to your ideas. If we amend that it's 2 for each island, you're talking about where are you putting these, and what is your plan, and then he's asking that it does then put some context in where they go.
I'm just thinking about you guys, why you're doing this. You're calling it Friends in High Places, and I didn't think it was for people being out of the inundation zone. Because that's a lot of the city that's in it. I thought the idea was because you were not going to have a cache in the north end of the city yet.
Well, that, we're working on that before we talk about the Golden property again.
So there's been a motion to.
Yeah, so we have a motion and a second on the
Oh,
table.
I'll second it.
Is there-
I feel like I shouldn't have, because I'm like.
Karen's
Yes,
second.
it needs to be Karen,
Um,
because you,
I did.
okay.
So is there everybody in favor, say aye?
Thanks,
Okay,
Jen,
thank you.
for
Motion
saying
carries.
that.
Okay,
So I think, Kim, what I wanna do is so your thought was, I think that what I'd like to focus on is that Friends and High Places are about out of the inundation zone, not about having, I'd like to separate the thought of it from the cash system. I'd like them to be 2 different,
yeah, they are, I think.
but I'm just clarifying that for you.
Well, I'm just talking about the genesis of this discussion and
Right,
why you
right.
guys wanted to have this.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
And how are you going to make sure that you can,
Right.
be fair to people?
And so now that we've got the 2 per thing, that helps, and then when people apply, then we plot their addresses out on a map, and then we can do that when all of the things come in.
So how many
we're
people is that
talking
gonna
about
serve? That's gonna serve 20 people?
Say again?
So you're gonna look at putting a cache in this quadrant, 2 barrels in this quadrant, simply because you wanna put it in quadrants when we have access to these barrels right here?
No, in islands.
Islands, that's, okay, well, that's different, there's more than 4 islands. There was like 8.
There's
5
5 islands,
in the new plan,
Okay, there's 5 islands,
yes.
so 2
so who are you
islands.
leaving out?
There's not, there's 5 islands.
Okay, 10, so, but I guess what I'm
But-
saying is that it's like, we can have another discussion, because I wanna make sure that people who really need them can get them and not,
Right.
Right,
I'm limiting it out, people who can afford to buy their own supplies.
right,
There you go,
right, but it's not about your own stuff, and that's why you have to prove that you're already,
I get that, But
so.
they also needs to be in an accessible area and not behind a
Accessible
blockade.
area, that's perfect, and that's the double whammy. Yes, they have to prove that they're personally prepared, and they
Yeah,
have to be in an
accessible.
accessible area. So looking at the map on 26 that we're gonna be really looking at when we really look at this evacuation plan, here are the 5 islands. Kim, from the report that you.
Yeah, I saw it, I was just looking at the agreement she gave me.
And so we're looking at now defining as we get rolling, as we roll out the bin, sorry. As we roll out this program, and we wanna be sure everybody has equal opportunity, we wanna be sure that as we roll it out, we take two from one, we take 2 from 2, we
Right.
take 2 from 3.
And I would prefer, because I don't think of them this way, this has nothing to do with being instead of a cache.
See, that's what
It's
we
a
know.
cache.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
short term.
That's right.
These are short term.
That's
The caches are much more the 2 to 6 weeks.
That's exactly right, these
Well,
are.
and I'm not disagreeing with that, this was a short-term idea before you guys got the caches.
Yeah, because the caches were so slow.
Yes, it's gonna take
Right.
forever.
Right, this is part of the evolution of how this is, which is what you were clarifying, but the 2 programs are really very separate. A big cache is for, is 2
Is to help
weeks.
us get through the 2 to 6
That's
weeks.
right, that's, there's radios in there.
So when I mean
there's-
short term for the bins, I'm meaning short term of use,
That's
like
exactly,
help us for 3 days.
exactly,
So-
right, that's exactly what it is.
So I see this probably being a 5 or 6 year plan, guys. I don't know that we're going to get a cache a year, I hope we do, but I mean, they're so expensive. I think we're gonna have a lot of luck with
Okay.
these bins and garages.
Right.
I really do.
Right,
And I see that, hopefully we'll have 5 caches in 5 years.
right,
I
right,
just
that's
think
what our
it's-
hope is, because that was our goal.
Yeah, that was our goal, yeah, okay. So,
Does that help, is everybody clarified? Kim, are you good now? I wanna be sure.
I will be good when I see what you guys do.
So what is it in your?
You and I can talk on it.
Okay, cool.
So, our guest speaker on March 10th is Marlene Zitnowski
Okay,
with Oregon Department of Human Services. And I've also heard them call, there's another abbreviation. In fact, everybody has several abbreviations, but Karen and I met her, and a fellow named Jeff, and we talked about doing the evacuation, around Labor Day last year, or not Labor Day, Veterans Day. And she says, oh, we do this all the time, we can help you. So she had me look at a video, it was about an hour, and it was very similar to what we've already seen from different people. But she'd like to come talk to us and show the video, she just didn't want me just to give out the video information, but she wants to be there to answer questions. So I figured if we have her on the agenda, on March 10th, and then we can have, then we can talk more about fine tuning, make sure we understand what we're doing on the 22nd, as far as what our program goes. So we have additional.
Just to just comment on that we would want to really make sure that that's all that's on the agenda.
That's a
Because
lot.
if we're doing an hour video and 20-minute debrief, and then trying to make sure all the ducks are in a row for the
That's right.
2
No, we're
weeks
gonna have to
kids
meet
later.
before, the 10th to go over the 22nd, all the,
Mhm.
set up another meeting.
Well, I was thinking about a workshop, to do that, and
Yeah.
I hope that we can get through it all. So before we leave, let's look at our calendar and see what's gonna work for everybody. So I want her to come. We talked about, having another event like in August, September, October, something like that, and inviting Samantha Buckley. And Cal and I and Kathy have talked about the Big Shakeout. It's something that Ready America has. It's a truck that simulates that you are in an earthquake.
7.5.
7.5. Well, she told me that she could do it for 7.
No,
the
7 earthquake size, 7.5.
Because she's.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Because
Which is giving me a 7.5 right here.
I know. Which 7.5 we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly right.
So I talked to Samantha very briefly at our event on the 25th. Want to see if the county was interested in maybe doing this and making it a countywide event. First of all, does the committee want to spend this much money to do this? Especially if we have to do it on our own. There's very few dates that we can do it. They're all in August. There's like 4 dates in August where we can have it. August is not the best time to have something like this, but it's unique enough to where I think it would get a lot of attention.
I hear what you're saying, I feel like it is not the kind of quake that we're going to have. The shake, that shake thing is this kind of shake event, it
Okay.
is not a subduction event, it doesn't replicate a subduction event. It is, so I can see kids having a good time going in, we could have, but I don't wanna teach people, I don't want people to think that we think this is what it's going to be, because it's not gonna be like
Well,
that.
it's like an earthquake in California.
Yes, it's an earth, it's a
This is gonna
California
go
earthquake.
boom. like
Yeah,
that.
ours is different, ours drops and ours lasts much longer
Mhm.
and you'll know it for
Okay, so
sure.
is everyone in agreement that that's probably not
Yes.
something we would do? Okay, all right.
Thank you, Luke. for bringing
Sure,
it up.
yeah. Sure. Okay. And I talked to Kim already about the grant, the budget, we have information. From Autumn, that's too bad, because she's the only public we had. Guess there's no one on the phone right now. So any other things to come before the committee? Other than let's look at some dates for a workshop.
Well, before you do that, the things that I gave you, this document here this is
yeah.
the draft I started on what we're gonna do and hand out to good neighbor guidelines.
Yeah, I like this.
So you can see that I set up for emergency text, but we also have Everbridge is on our website now. We got an upgraded website, the website design, so Everbridge is on there. I wanna show you the seaside example. This is the type of map I wanna make sure that they get. I need to look and see, but I really like it. This is easy to read, but Laura and Felicia said they could help us maps together, so I wanna definitely check them out.
And have this on ours.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, this is a nice one. It's
Yes.
clear, it tells people where to go.
It is, it's a lot, it's our city, or their city, but I think it'll be a lot easier for people to see where things
I
are
agree, I
going.
love it.
Especially the ones with hotels and things like that. I really
Yeah.
like that one.
Felicia
then-
said she would do that, right?
Yeah, Felicia, I think, was the one who said
Got it,
to do
got it.
that. And the next 2 pages are just some sample of their short-term Rockaway Beach, what they put in there. And then Manzanita, I really like Manzanita, so I think that these are I'm planning on presenting a packet to the council on March 4th. No, not March 4th, March 18th. Where are we at? One of those 2 dates, March 4th or 18th, probably the 18th, that will have everything together, which will have what, saying this is the amendment to the short-term rental ordinance. It includes making sure that they are required to post emergency stuff. And these are the types of things that I'm gonna be asking them to add to their route, put their work. The other thing I wanted to show you is Joyce has already seen it. This does not have the minor correction that Joyce did. Oh, kind of like fast backwards. Okay, just look at it, it's like upside down for the way it printed it, I didn't tell it to print side, but anyway, this is the calendar. The only thing is, I gotta let you guys know that, I was unable to find any place that would print them for us for under $10.
A piece?
Yeah.
Holy.
Well, it's currently on the city website, right?
No, not yet, cause I had to make the change.
Okay.
But, if you want them, it will be for 200, I can't remember if we settled on 200 or 100 or what, it will be $2,700. You guys have it, so, I don't know if you
Well,
wanna
I think.
just go to 100 or
I
just do
do
website,
both.
it's really up to you.
I think since it's already March, almost, I think we should maybe do
that's a
it
good
next
point.
year, put it in next year's budget. If we could get it on the city website, this period's been to research it and figure out if we wanna do it, we can come up with a completely different calendar next year and do it right.
All I know is that I spent a lot of time on this,
Okay.
so I would really appreciate it not just being tossed aside.
Oh, no, that's definitely.
So even if you guys, I mean, we can easily change the pictures, but staying with the regular stuff, I think we should.
So if we, how much is it gonna cost?
If you did 200, it would be 2,700.
Let's-
Obviously, if you did only 100, it would be half that. So.
Okay. So.
But no, I'm sorry, I'm not hinting that you should go ahead and do this if the committee is not for it. She just said, start all over again in 2026. Well, I spent a lot of time on this thing, 3 versions, so I really appreciate not throwing the whole thing
I'm
away
sorry.
in 2026,
So
let's just recycle it.
Who would we want, if we printed it, who would we wanna put it in there? Who's worth a $10 handout? No, I mean, I hate to say it, I guess I'm on.
No, you're
being
right,
recorded.
you're right.
Because we don't wanna just set it at Chester's on the end of.
No, I would not, I would put him in here, that's it,
I think,
which is mostly residents that.
Right,
come in
mostly
here.
residents. Oh, good point.
If you give it to city council, if you give it to everybody that's on a committee, that's gonna be, 30, probably, and then we can have.
But you would assume that everybody wants them and not everybody will want
Okay.
them.
Well, I think that
What do you think, Maggie?
I think we can give them to,
It's up to you, all I'm asking is just don't throw the whole thing away in 2026, let's just recycle what we can.
I think that we can give them to the shops that's good at store prices. Have them put them up, just various things, it's up to the committee, but I understand where it comes from.
It's a lot of money, and I guess one of the things that we're trying to do, if we could agree in a little bit of code, is we designed a refrigerator magnet that we could put things on it, like the radio, check-in thing, we could put on it,
That's how I say that.
if you feel that we could put, walk, don't drive to high ground. And we could put, kind of emergency, so basically for a 6x4 magnet, which is bigger than the one we're looking at, you can get 1,000 of them for like $400. And to have those on the refrigerator doors of every house and every rental unit that are good for at least 5 or 6 years before we change any of the information or whatever, compared to $2,100. But
Right, so can I build on that? So what if I'm sorry, because now we're talking 2 different things.
I know, and that's why
So I know.
hesitated to-
So we'll go back to this and then we'll go back to this, so I'll do this so I'll remember. So if we were doing refrigerator magnets, is there a way to, Kim, is there a way to QR code on that refrigerator magnet that takes them directly to our
Yes.
website that's got all the information?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay,
We
so
have a
then that
QR
would be,
code on the one we're gonna do.
and that would, you see what I'm saying, that would get a visitor to tap into our emergency preparedness on a thing. I think that's cool. Okay, back to this. What about, so we were talking about, so people we want this to be in their hands. Do we want this to be in the hands of those lodging owners that we're gonna go knock on doors? Do we want Walmart to have one of these in
We
their
can
front
do
office?
that, and on the 22nd, we can have them as a giveaway.
I was gonna say, and then when we have people that care about aware and prepared being 2 weeks ready, this could be the part of the giveaway that we could give, I would just say a number, give 10 away there as part of the thing, but they're just not, they're earned, because they're $10, but they are also great. I mean, this isn't a crappy handout, this is like a
No,
very
Yeah,
good
it's
thing.
very nice.
No.
It's like of worth. Like, this is a cool thing, like, people need to want this. We don't wanna hand it to somebody that's gonna throw it out when they get home.
And I'm gonna fine tune that, cause there's actually more dates in it, not all the dates came through, but this is a program I'm not used to using it, but it was the best one I could find, I could actually.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes, is it stapled in the corner like that?
Coiled,
It's coiled.
and it's also the glossy,
Oh,
Well,
that's nice.
Can we have that as a door prize, not just give away,
That's
have
right.
it as a door prize?
And we need to like she
so
said,
you
it's
can
all in the
order, so you
presentation.
can order any, on this program I'm having, a lot of these places have minimum quantities, not with this one. That was another reason why I put it at no minimum quantities, a lot of places do, so if you want to order only a few, we can absolutely order only a few.
Can we check to see if somebody, like the printing place in Newport, can do them?
Pioneer Printing, I don't know, do they do calendars?
Or whatever it used to be called, laser or whatever.
Now, if they do coil calendars, that's one thing, but if they just do the staple to top, I don't know.
No, I don't want to know, but I can totally see it.
But I can totally, have, next time one of the guys goes down there, ask them to drop that.
I've got it.
Printed correctly,
Yeah.
printed correctly, cause that's upside down.
Yeah, but at least this they could look at it and say, oh yeah, we do that, or no, we don't.
I can get a price on it. Well, let me take it,
But I think
I'll
it'd
get
be
a
great
price on
to
it.
have it on.
Let me print you, stop by tomorrow, let me print you one that's not upside down.
Okay.
Yeah, oh,
I don't know
that's.
if you noticed it's upside down.
So then how many did we come, just like if we,
I think.
They may have a quantity, but let's find out.
but when we were thinking, if we hand them as the treasures they are, we need 100 of them, we need 50 of them, how many did we just decide? Or were we thinking?
We're still
100.
I would think 100.
I think it's gonna depend on how much they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, where the.
but I think we need to not, because before, when they were cheaper, it just felt like we could hand them out. But now, when we hand them, we look them in the eye and they realize just how important and near and dear they are. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a whole other vibe.
Yeah.
Like these are,
Look them in the eye.
this is a gift. Well, you know what I mean?
I think that's adorable. I'm not, if you think I'm making fun of you, I promise you I'm not. I think that's adorable.
No, because it's not just a giveaway, it's something that they've earned, that you've like heard them like say, oh, you know what? We happen to have these and they're a very limited quantity, but I'd like to have you have one of these calendars. You wanna take this with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to promise to.
I like the way she thinks.
That's right, absolutely. Show it to your grandchildren, you had to have it passed on.
All right, you guys.
Okay. Thank you, Kim. I
It's
didn't
not
mean to
that
hurt your
important.
feelings. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
I did, I thought, holy crap, I spent hours on that
I
thing,
know you did.
including personal time.
I know, I'm sorry, I didn't get you through.
Oh, yeah, I've got it memorized.
Well, see, I thought if I made it the code,
Yeah.
then there would be something.
Yeah.
So-
Well, very clever.
So we've agreed that we want to do a workshop.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have no idea what my calendar looks like, can you give me some days that would work, if you don't have to do it now, that would work, unless you have the information now, for the end of, February, 1st of March?
Just for the work session, just keep an eye on that calendar because that's got our current meeting schedule on it.
Okay. So Randy would love for you to have, be part of this too, even though you can't make the 22nd, so,
What's on Monday, the 24th?
I can't,
You're done?
I'm in Silverton.
okay.
Okay.
Silverton's so pretty.
25th,
I could do the 26th, the 25th, I'm gonna be beating back here.
okay, the 25th,
The 26th, is that a Thursday?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
talking about
Wednesday.
It's a
February?
Wednesday.
Oh, we're talking about February?
Yeah,
Okay. If we get into March, then I need to look, cause I have budget committee meetings.
so Wednesday, the 26th is a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a 10 o'clock meeting and 3:30 on the 26th, y'all wanna go in like at noon?
I can't be, we have
Okay.
the green energy meeting is in here on,
Okay,
And
Is that on the calendar?
and then we have.
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Little Whale Cove tabletop emergency
how about
exercise.
the 27th
in the
and
afternoon.
28th?
As long as it's not a Friday.
That's
Not
Friday.
The 27th in the morning, I have a 4 o'clock
Okay.
road safety.
Karen, Kathy and Karen's is 27th in the morning, okay?
I can do like a
Yeah.
10, 10
Okay,
o'clock.
Randy, okay.
Oh, 27th, no,
No?
Okay.
according to the garbage open.
Okay,
Whatever.
It's gonna be that bad?
That's what it sounds like, doesn't it? I'm going to garbage opening.
I know, it's gonna be fun, it's, Spooner's Creek, they've got the transfer station.
Wow.
okay.
Cookies from the people.
Are you doing a
Sweet
ribbon
Sweet
cutting?
or whatever.
Are
it
you
is.
doing a ribbon cutting for them?
No, I'm just gonna go
Okay,
check out garbage, you know, I
how
love it.
about, the third?
I could do
of-
Wednesday the
no,
5th.
third of March.
Wednesday the 5th,
Wednesday the fifth, that's that good for
In the
everybody?
afternoon.
anytime Wednesday the 5th.
Okay,
Hold on.
I don't know
Hold
about
on,
my
we're
calendar.
looking, we're pulling up March.
So then March the fifth?
Hold on, he's still looking.
What time?
It's open.
It's Wednesday, 10 a.m.?
Wednesday, March 5th, 10 a.m. Wait, she's still getting there. Where's your calendar?
I don't know. Are you?
Just,
I know, I'm so. Okay, here it is.
here we go, almost, wait a second.
Is that adequate?
Yeah.
Wednesday, March 5th, got it.
What's that?
Is that adequate time before
The 22nd,
everything going on in March?
for the 22nd?
We're doing it in the afternoon?
How about 10 o'clock?
She wants to, she can't, she got,
Okay,
Wednesday mornings are not good for
okay,
me.
what, on the,
Wednesday afternoon's
if
fine
it
for me.
works for everybody
Yeah,
else.
Wednesday's afternoon's fine.
So you wanna do it like at what, 3 o'clock? Would that work for you,
No,
Karen?
but for more like 1,
1 o'clock would be good.
Karen, is that gonna work?
2 better?
2 would be awesome.
2 better?
If
You
that works for
retired
you guys.
folks crack me up.
I don't know, my calendar.
I'm not retiring. You guys are way too busy for retirement.
so 2 o'clock on the 5th,
Thank you.
and this is the workshop for the, workshop for the 22nd.
Yes,
Is that? Good enough?
And where is it here?
yeah,
No, I'm gonna go back and say that. Okay, and it's here, so as Randy's pointing out, does that give us enough time to do anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna have most of it done.
Go.
so, yeah, that sounds good. All right, we got that accomplished. It was a busy meeting.
I feel badly about Autumn. I don't know, did she come expecting to?
Did she wanna speak?
No, she didn't. She just likes emergency preparedness is important to her. And had she not had a little baby, she would have wanted to be on, she wanted to be on.
Oh, okay, so I was afraid she was hoping to talk to us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I feel better.
No, she's, like Karen said, she just has an interest in what we're doing. Okay, so any other comments before the meeting adjourns?
Oh, I thought we were adjourned.
Adjourned.
Good idea.
You know Kathy, and done.